So today I have the pleasure of meeting with Scott. Scott, hi, please go ahead and introduce yourself and your company to the community.
Hi Claire, so my name's Scott Williams. I'm director and owner of a business called Food Recruit Limited. I'm an independent headhunter specialising in the recruitment of food manufacturing professionals from middle management and above.
Wow, that's amazing.
Pre-rehearsed.
That sounds absolutely amazing and really interesting, Scott. So how long have you been doing it for?
So my background before recruitment, I've been in the industry my whole career. So from 2007, I was in the food industry myself. And then long story short, I fell into recruitment in 2016. Obviously, like with anyone else, COVID hit. And then I started working from home, and I decided during that time that I wanted to kind of spread my wings and go it myself. So I set up Food Recruit in September 20.
Wow, right in the middle of
Right in the middle of the pandemic.
the pandemic. Yeah. What inspired you to spread your wings and go by yourself?
Yeah, so I've always been passionate about food anyway, because that's all I've ever known. But with the food industry, especially during COVID, everyone would have seen that the industry was faltering, especially in automotive, manufacturing, engineering, etc. But food is evergreen, so no matter what happened during COVID, people were still eating. So I thought now would be a prime opportunity to, if you're going to go for it now. So I put in for voluntary redundancy at the time with the business I was with, and I spent the 6 months on garden leave setting up Food Recruit, whether it be branding and websites and HMRC and everything else a business owner needs to do, with the view that because it is in the middle of the pandemic, it can only get better. And thankfully, nearly 3 years later, the point's proven, really.
Amazing. And what would you say? I mean, you had probably one of the toughest times to navigate to start a new business venture, but what would you say perhaps has been one of the biggest challenges you've experienced over the past couple of years?
Sleep. So I think with the biggest challenge, especially setting off on your own, so you're competing with the blue chips and the well-knowns in the industry. So probably setting your stall out and putting a flag in the sand, so to speak, and saying, this is me, this is how I'm different, and kind of staying true to yourself, really. So my biggest challenge has always been competing with the businesses with multi-million-pound marketing teams behind them, and everyone that can do that for them. I have to do it all myself. So trying to spin multiple plates, whether it be marketing or recruitment in itself, or the candidate piece or the client piece, and HMRC and IT and blogs, and yeah. So back to the definitely getting sleep is probably the hardest part, and shutting off. I think when you are your own boss and it is your business, I think the hard part is shutting off, because you care, it is your baby.
Yeah, the many hats we have to wear as owners at the beginning. What would you say, or how do you think you have changed since becoming a business owner?
How have I changed? I think I'm probably more focused on the direction I want to go, and how I'm going to achieve it. I think when I was setting out, I had so many ideas and so many routes to market that I wanted to go down. You just don't know until you take that first step. So I think now the brand is settled and established. I know my perfect client base are. I know what clients are expecting. I know what candidates expect, and I know what I'm expecting. I think I've now realised that you can't be everything to everyone. So I've stayed true to my mission and stayed down that route, really.
Yeah, that's really important. Staying in your lane and really
In your lane.
Yeah. So what about successes? We're still here. We've seen through our way through the pandemic. We've come out the other side. We do have some economic challenges perhaps right now, but there's got to be some successes. You're still here. You're still moving forward. You're still very passionate and energized.
Yeah.
What are the wins?
So I guess my first big success was securing one of the biggest food groups in the UK as my first client. It was obviously it took a quite a long time. So it was 3 months of hard work, banging on the doors of obviously well-known businesses around the UK. But one of my first clients was one of the big blue chips of the UK, who are still a client today. But obviously that then snowballs into other businesses, and I'm proud to say that the businesses that I do work with, I retain and grow with. So more and more work comes my way because they understand that I'm part of their business. I work in partnership with themselves, and I'm here for the long haul. For the long haul. Sorry. So it's not just a case of a flash in the pan, come in today, put an invoice out, and walk off into the sunset. I'm here for the long haul. So yeah, I'm a partner they can trust. So, and obviously I've worked hard to get myself to that place as well.
You're here for the long haul. So what's next? What do the next couple of years look like?
Well, in all honesty, every time I close the end of year books, I have a new idea and I go down that route. So although I know which way I'm going to go, there's always something playing on my mind, something always keeping me up at night, where shall I try that or shall I do this? So Food Recruiters evolved. So not only do I obviously recruit industry specialists in the food manufacturing sector, but I also service the accounts with procurement and supply chain solutions as well, which leans on to my experience before recruitment. So I have clients coming to me looking for sourcing services to source, whether it be chunky chips, or they want poultry products, or can you help us sell this? Or so I'm basically setting myself differently to my competitors, where not only do I offer a professional recruitment service, but I'm more of a one-stop shop for anything food manufacturing, really. So because my network is so large and obviously expansive, there's always someone I know to help somebody. So a lot of the time it's a case of bringing people together, even if there isn't a charge in there as well.
Absolutely, I love that. And you said actually one of the biggest challenges you face is perhaps time, or getting some airspace. But is there downtime? What do you like to do to switch off?
Boot at the laptop and carry on working. No, so I've got a young family, so I've got a 13-month-old son, and this is the reason why I do it, for my family and for my kids. So where I do obviously long days just like any other business owner, I enjoy it as well, but obviously the main point for me is delivering for them, obviously providing for the family. I know it's obviously a cliche, but when I can deliver for them and I can see their reaction, then that's why I do the hours, and that's why I keep driving on. So if I'm not working, I'm spending time with my family. If I'm not spending time with my family, I'm working.
Well, there seems to be a little bit of balance there.
Yeah.
If you could go back to the beginning, September 2020, what would you change?
Oh, good question. I think if I was to change everything in the downtime I had between leaving my last job and setting up Food Recruit, where it was all about the design of the business, the prettiness of it, and what the brand looked like. It'd probably be more around the strategy I'd spend more time on, regarding who I'm going to target, where they're going to be, and how am I going to differ myself from my competitors. I think that is evolved over time. So as I've taken steps forward, and I've got battle scars, and what's worked well, what hasn't worked well, what's had good feedback, what hasn't. I've learned that as I went. If I could go back in time, I would have probably set a more clearer strategy out, rather than where we said earlier, where I've now found my lane and I know what I want to do. But that's the life of a solo entrepreneur, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. No 2 days are the same, I guess.
Absolutely.
And lastly, looking back on your journey so far, what 3 words would you use to sum it up?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good. Oh, you've caught me off guard there. What a journey, I'll go with. So I would never, because I've done it now, you know, obviously now I'm up and running and I am my own boss. I never thought I would be. You know, I was always on the employed hamster wheel, you know, turning up 9 to 5, doing the job and going home and forgetting about it. Being your own boss, it is stressful. You know, you've got a lot of things to do, but I wouldn't have it any other way now. I enjoy it so much. And you know, the responsibility and the ownership of delivering, you know, if it goes wrong, that's my fault. If it goes well, that's my fault. So yeah, so what a journey. That's what I'd say, and hope it continues.
Well, Scott, thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us today. There's some real valuable learnings there for the community. Thank you, and to your future success, good luck.
Thank you very much.